Hello, my name is Laura. I'm a visual artist and I'm also a teacher. I'm really delighted to be working with you all on this series of online video workshop visual art tutorials. The series of workshops have been generously commissioned by the Courthouse Arts Centre, Tinahely, County Wicklow, and it's funded by the Arts Council of Ireland. In this series of workshops, we're going to explore a range of art making techniques and processes that artists, designers, and creative practitioners use in their own practices. We're going to be looking at colour, line, form, shapes, textures, and materials. Most importantly, in every workshop, we're going to have the chance to explore our own creativity and imaginations. I'm really looking forward to working with you all on this series, and I can't wait to see your own imaginative responses. Please share some images of your work with the Courthouse Arts Centre, Tinahely. Thank you. So, let's get started. This workshop is focusing on two things: an exploration of colour and an exploration of our imagination. We're going to do lots of colour mixing using the primary colours yellow, red, blue. This workshop is suitable for everyone, from a 1-year-old to a 100-year-old. For younger children though, please do ask an adult for help when using the scissors. Be careful. We're going to let our imagination go completely wild. We're going to create a series of imaginary creatures, a menagerie of completely original, never been seen before creatures. A menagerie is a name for a collection of animals, and since you're using your imaginations, we can call this workshop an imaginary of colourful, fun creatures. The most important thing to remember in this workshop is to have fun with your imagination. I'm giving you some ideas, but I'd really like to see you go completely crazy with your own shapes, colour mixing, and forms for your creatures. Enjoy creating an imaginary of colourful creatures. To make our menagerie of imaginary creatures, we're going to need some materials. Also very important, a cloth to keep your place clean, to keep your work area clean and tidy for other people in your home. Artists and designers use images to help them get started in their work and in their ideas and research. For this project, we can also look at images and ideas for our research to create imaginary and completely original creatures. The pufferfish is a really interesting sea creature and could give you lots of ideas for the shape and structure of your imaginary creature. The lemur's striped and fluffy tail could give you inspiration. The beautiful feathers, colours and textures of tropical birds. Think about the texture, shape, colour and patterns of snakes. The shapes and structures of sea life and shells all can give you really interesting ideas. Making a mini notebook. Artists and designers work in notebooks a lot to get ideas and to record their ideas. Follow my steps as I make a small notebook. All you need is an A4 page and a scissors. You can use this notebook during this workshop to make a record of the colours you've used and to doodle any ideas for your imaginary creatures. making orange using some red paint, using some yellow paint, using your old takeaway box or an old lunchbox lid, using some white to give extra tone, an old jam jar, any kind of brush that you might have at home, and start exploring. See how many shades that you can create using the primary colours of red and yellow. As I'm drawing, the puffer fish comes into my mind again, the shape of the puffer fish. And I'm using that shape as my inspiration for one of my imaginary creatures. You can also mix colours as you paint. Water also changes the colour of your paint, as of course does the white paint. Using red and blue and some white to make purple. You can make dark shades of purple, then you can make lighter shades using white, using maybe some extra red, using water. You can use your mini notebook to record some of your shades and colours. I'm inspired by the shape of a snake, and I'm also thinking of imaginary creatures. I'm thinking of dragons, dinosaurs as I'm painting. Let your imagination go wild. You can mix lighter shades, darker shades. I'm giving the dragon, dinosaur, snake, I'm not sure what it is, extra dark colours for the tips of its feathers. You don't just have to draw on paper. You can use old cereal boxes, cardboard boxes, get the scissors, open them up and get painting. I'm exploring blues and yellows, different shades of blues. Also, think about the change in colour when you're working on cardboard instead of white paint or white paper. You can also squeeze the paint directly from the tube onto cardboard because it's so absorbent. It acts a little bit like a sponge. You can get contrasts of very bright parts and lighter, softer parts. You can keep adding to your mini notebook as we go along with this project, and it's something you can continue to do in your own time. Mint greens, lime greens, pale greens. You could give these shades of colours different names. My peach puffer fish. There's space on the page for extra painting. It's always really important not to waste paper when you're working. So you can use the extra bits for smaller scale for miniature creatures. Yellows and a tiny bit of blue give us shades of lime green. A fish with many tails. Exploring pinks, reds and white. A lot of white, a little white, a lot of water, a little water. A rainbow of colours. Thinking of a dinosaur, flamingo, giraffe with very pink feet. With your leftover paint from your other colour mixing, you can use it to add details. Perhaps give your creature spots in different colours. Flick your paintbrush, splatter. Have fun. After we paint, we can move on to collage and further details on our creatures. So, back to my dragon, dinosaur, snake creature. It's going to become a snow dragon with cotton wool paws. Again, the white paper can be used for more details. Cutting little eyeballs of various sizes using our spare white paper. You can use the scissors like a pencil. The scissors can draw really interesting details. It's got curly eyebrows, and then details with your pencil. So, our fluffy, snowy, purple dinosaur with the many eyeballs. You can use old magazines that you have at home, scissors, pencil, masking tape, wool to make extra details on your creatures. You can draw a design onto the front cover of the magazine, then carefully cut it. And lo and behold, you've managed to cut many instead of just one. You can use many pages of the magazine to create details and accessories for your creatures all at the one time. Play and think about where you want to place your collage elements. Paper drawings, paper details can be called collage, and you're collaging onto your creature. You can use masking tape or glue, whichever you have handy. You can add extra details with some wool. Why not give it some eyebrows too? And an eyeball. So back to our blue creature. Maybe it's a seahorse. First of all, very carefully cut out the edges of your shape. Then you could add tin foil for details. Perhaps they're going to be fish scales. You can glue them on in a trail. It's completely up to you. Perhaps you'll have a different idea what you're going to do with yours. I've decided to give mine a kind of scaly, shiny skin. You can cut the foil to give extra shimmering details. I'm going to give my creature some eyes. I'm going to show you a very simple way to cut out eyes from cardboard. Carefully fold over your card and draw half the circle. Then open it and symmetrically you've got an eye. Repeat for the other one. You can use your pencil to add details, give it a nose, give it eyelashes, whatever you would like. Now back to my puffer fish of sorts. I'm going to add some of my leftover painted parts from the blue creature and use it here. So that was the insert from the eye, and I'm on its foot, on its face. Yep. The pufferfish now has a blue mouth. Carefully glue this on and hold into place to secure it. I can use some of my collage pieces and the cotton wool to give details to my miniature creatures. Pressing the glue really carefully to make sure it holds. Now you've got a menagerie of creatures, both small and large. When you're doing this at home, please feel free to use any shapes that you would like. Use your imagination and enjoy the process of colour mixing, adding details, and using a variety of materials to create really interesting and imaginative creatures. Thanks for taking part in today's workshop. We made a series of imaginary creatures using colour mixing. We used blues and yellows to make shades of green. We used reds and blues to make shades of purples. We used reds and yellows to make shades of orange. And we mixed white to create even more colours and changes in tone of colours. You could display your imaginary as a washing line, an indoor washing line with some clothes pegs. And for your smaller creatures, you can use the clothes pegs for another idea. You can, using the Pritt stick, glue your mini creatures onto the clothes peg, being very careful to press your glue for about 20 seconds onto the clothes peg. So hold it there for quite a while so it will stick really well. Pressing it really, really well. We're nearly there. I think we should be there now. And you could display your mini creatures on a cup, on a glass. Here's our imaginary fish of some sort. We'll put some Pritt stick onto the back of that one. And again, using the clothes peg, pressing it on. And it can join the fluffy dinosaur in your imaginary menagerie of creatures. Thanks for joining.